flowers. She's got me started on succulents. I didn't know what a succulent was. And she's got me growing them in pots on my porch, my front porch. I go out every morning and look at my crop of succulents. Yeah.
Well, now, how old are you?
83. He was 83 in May.
Oh, Jeff was quite a bit older than you.
Yeah, he was 12 years older than me.
Oh, but
He's been dead. In December it'll be 19 years.
Jeez, criminy.
It seems like maybe five years ago.
I always told different ones old Jeff was the best in-law I had. Years ago I was bulldog and I built the first pond back there. And I got into a bunch of bees. They stung me and
yeah.
I about died.
Really?
Doctor said 10 more minutes I'd have been dead. I couldn't breathe no more when I got to Greensburg. And our doctor wouldn't let me go home, so I stayed with Marty's folks. And Jeff was the only one come out. He brought me a bunch of cigars.
Oh,
he couldn't breathe, so he brought him cigars.
Yeah.
I was smoking cigars them days.
Well, you're not allergic to bee stings. You just were stung too many times.
Well, doctor told me if I get stung again, I better get up there all the way. Well, I was back across the field, got into about 6 of them stung me, and I thought, oh shit, that's just a bunch of malarkey. And I just barely got hold of my brother. He took me to the doctor then, but
yeah,
I don't know. They said a couple beer stings, but you might have to go for a shot or something.
Yeah, right. I've heard of that.
I was up an old doctor. Oh, who was it?
Well, there was a Morrison.
Dr.
Morrison?
Dr. Walker.
Walker, okay.
Then.
Yeah, Dr. Walker.
When did he come to Greensburg, you know?
I don't know. He was here when I first came here in '58.
I was there. We were all there with him.
But,
Well, that's about when he come to town.
yeah, probably so, yeah. But, yeah, Jim was a nice guy, but he had a mother that, she was not a nice guy.
The brother?
Mother.
Oh, the mother. I heard of Mrs. Smith.
Oh, yeah, I bet you have. Everybody's heard of Bessie Smith. Wow.
I never did. It had nothing to do with her. I never did meet Jeff. Was Jeff's brother? He wasn't a twin, was he?
No, he lived in Batesville.
Yeah, I know.
And his name was Ross.
Yeah.
And
Was
he
he a little older than Jeff?
2 years older. But he was married to, oh, I can't think of the name of Betty.
Wasn't they over in Pearl Harbor together during the war?
Yeah,
I thought they was over one of them places.
yeah. They were in Guadalcanal and Tinian and Saipan and Tarawa.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jim ever got over it. Ross didn't seem to bother him much, but Jim was pretty torn up by it. Well, listen, anything else you think I should ask you?
About me.
Now, what should I ask you about farming? What do you think I've missed?
Oh, I don't know. I've been excavating or I kind of quit farming.
He had a feed mill down here too in his barn. He ground his own feed with the old hammer mill.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I ground my own feed for a long time.
You mean you didn't sell the feed? You just you ground it for your own?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Let me go over this one more time. You personally raised, you didn't raise hogs.
Yeah, I had a lot of hogs for a long time.
That was later on.
This was later, like when I was younger and stuff. He got
You
hogs,
kids was
but
still living. I was bulldozing then already.
years ago he didn't have hogs.
I had 18 sows. Of course, you had good fence around years ago. You could let them run someplace. But they all went back in the woods and had their little pigs. I didn't even have to feed them.
Oh.
Back when he was a kid, they didn't have
10
hogs.
days they'd bring their pigs up to the barn here. as wild as a rabbit, them little pigs was.
Yeah.
And
And then when they got so big, you'd have them, you'd sell them, or somebody would.
I sold them for weaning pigs.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. And then, is that what they do now? I mean, they do that now? Sell them for a weaning?
Some people do. They have them when they're babies.
Uh-huh.
They have the sows that have babies, and then when they get so big, they sell them off to somebody else, and then they raise them up
Okay.
till
That's all one
feeding.
farmer does it. Now them
Yeah.
hoeing boys over there,
Uh-huh.
they buy them. They're about 4-week-old pigs, and then they raise them. They
You
got
learn a
how
lot
many
about
thousand
them
hogs
from
they got
countries.
over there all the time. Were you ever over there?
Hoeing? I don't.
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh, Francis.
Francis,
It's not
hoeing.
his.
There's a couple of them brothers, ain't it, Paul?
Yeah, but they're not his buildings. Craze or somebody put a hog building on his property, and then he takes care of it.
Okay.
So it's not really his building. It's on his property.
Oh,
and
he feeds them out for some
Yep.
other big company.
No, they bring the hogs in there, and he takes care of them.
There ain't no little private farmers no more that got any animals hardly at all.
Shouldn't say nothing about that.
Well, I can understand that.
Like Aunt Barbara, she's got one dog left, I heard.
That's right, one dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Used to go there and see Barb once in a while, but I ain't been up there for a couple of years.
Yeah, she's doing well, but her dogs seem to be
I
dying
was up
off.
there one day for the funeral.
Yeah.
I don't know if Margie is still living there no more, but her and Nancy was out in the yard digging a hole to bury that one dog. They was crying. The ground was so darn hard you couldn't hardly dig it, and I dug the hole for
Yeah.
her.
I have 2 graves for dogs on my land, and they have their monuments too.
They got what?
Monuments.
Hmm.
Jim fixed them a monument.
Now, do you still live right as you go in the cemetery there on the right?
No, I live on Sheridan Street, where Jim's grandparents lived. His grandparents, his Smith grandparents lived there.
Was Jeff still? Didn't you used to live right as you go in the cemetery entrance there on the right?
No.
I thought you did.
Oh.
You're getting off the farm thing, Dad.
That's right. We did get off of it, didn't we?
Should
I
we
may
mention
have to. I may
Goose
have
Creek
to call and ask you because I'm doing my notes, but I'm finding it rather fascinating, and so I may not be able to read all my notes. I may
Okay.
have to call and ask.
No, that barn was built
Should
with
we
3
mention
long
Goose Creek
stables,
Grill?
and mangers was in the middle.
Tell her about the
You'd throw the feed down through the top on the second floor.
first floor. Top floor was the
You
hay
could
mound.
drive a tractor or anything clear through that
Well,
barn.
that's what I couldn't figure out. How'd you get up there?
ladder.
Huh?
Ladder.
Well, you didn't take a tractor on the ladder.
No, in the hay mow,
The third floor was the hay
The
mow.
top floor, you just got in there with the ladder, but the middle and the bottom floor, you could get in with the tractor.
I had an old junk tractor on that second floor, and never even heard it. It stood out there. Remember that old Ford Ferguson stood out there and got a dent in it. The
But it-
barn went this way, and there sat my tractor.
But see, you could pull in like the middle floor from up here.
The
and
terrain.
then
The
it
terrain.
had the doors and stuff you could open. You could throw feed down into the bottom, where the cattle and or the horses or whatever was down there, and then you.
That was quite a barn, that was.
But then the top floor was the hay mow. You just put hay up in there, and but you didn't drive tractors or nothing up in the top floor. It was just for storage.
So, in other words, the land was built up to that second floor.
Right. Right.
Okay. I got it. I
Yeah,
got
it
you.
was like you went down this hill here, and you got into the middle landing, and then you went on down the hill farther, and you could get in the bottom.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I can see why the Harding's history thought it was so unusual.
No, that water tank run over there all the time, but it drained back in the creek.
Uh-huh.
Winter time, it never freeze.
Well, that was good. I mean, that helped you out, didn't it?
Well, I reckon.
Now the creek down here, that's Goose Creek,
Okay, Goose Creek.
and we used to fish at. We get all our Friday fish down there. We
Okay.
catch all our Friday fish to eat down there in the creek.
You could go down there and catch a mess of fish for dinner or something. Nice fish, but anymore there ain't nothing in but a few little minnows. So
Fish are all gone in the
So
little
dried
creeks.
up.
And did the creek dry up?
No, weed killer.
Oh,
Just
Killed all
the
the
fish
fish.
dried up.
they're gonna name this farm Goose Creek Farm.
oh really?
Yeah.
And that creek drains into the Muscatatuck.
Muscatatuck River.
Well,
Yeah.
always called it Muscatatuck
Yeah.
Creek, but I guess it is a river.
Yeah.
You know where the big bridge is we went over?
Yeah.
That's Muscatatuck River.
Okay.
And this creek drains into that right up.
That goes down through North Vernon, and where does it go from North Vernon?
Well, it eventually goes into the Ohio River somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know where it runs into. Might run into White River. I don't
White
know.
River, I believe, down in there somewhere.
Sand Creek, maybe? Sand Creek's a creek. And
Well, Sand Creek runs into Muscatatuck. Then Muscatatuck goes down and runs into, White Creek.
No,
or
my
whatever
grandpa
that
had about
one is.
150 ewes sheep all the time here. My grandpa
Yeah, 'cause
did.
if Sand Creek would have, if Muscatatuck would have dumped into Sand Creek, and Sand Creek would have been a river.
yeah.
So now your father died early, but your grandfather was still living,
Yeah.
and so then he helped you learn the farming.
He always thought the world over that water tank. That's where he died.
Really?
He got up real early that morning. He was 86, I believe. He had some hay cut down. He didn't want that hay to get wet.
Before.
He was kneeling down there by the water tank. I turned around and talked to him. There he was, had his head in the water tank. He fell in. He died before he went in the water tank. He wasn't in there very long. This is his face,
So he had a heart attack.
I guess.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Poor old grandpa.
What year was that, Dad? What year was that?
I think about 1941 or 2, something like that. He was born in 56, my grandpa was.
You mean like 1856?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he buried in Millhausen Cemetery? Is he buried in Millhausen Cemetery?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And Dominic, this too, that was my great grandpa. He's buried in Millhausen too.
Okay.
He had two brothers. One of them disappeared. They went down the Ohio River and from Cincinnati. They both all come from Germany. That one brother, they never did know where he went to.
Never did find him, did they?
Now tell.
And the other brother, old brother, was John Johannigman. Then he had a boy named John.
Now your grandfather was named Martin or
Yeah.
Matthias, as they
Yeah.
said. But what about your father's name?
Same way. Matthias was his name, but
Okay.
things was different them days. My mom never got a dime out of the veterans to raise us kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she apply? Do you think?
Huh?
Did she apply for it and didn't?
Yeah, and the lawyer said you can't get no money for that.
Well, I'll be darned.
She just never looked in. And last, when I got out of the army, I went up and see that veterans guy. He just had a fit that mom didn't draw money for us kids.
Yeah. Well, I would think they should. Yeah.
Then she drawed $58 a month for 2 years, and she died.
My great-grandfather was in the Civil War, and he applied for a pension after he got in his 80s, and he got $7 a month
Jesus Christ.
for Civil War service.
You know,
Poor old thing. He was blind. He was blinded in the Civil War.
Boy, it gets me is some of them guys sucking that pot.
Oh yeah.
I know some veterans that's in a lot better shape than I am that drawing big money.
Oh yeah. But also, in addition, I mean, I was Washington Township trustee for a lot of years, for 8 years, and there's a lot of people living off the government that could very
sure.
easily support themselves if they wanted to.
I talked to a boy the other day. He fell off a ladder years ago. Him and his wife were both drawing $1,900 a month.
Wow. Where's the ladder?
I'd be ashamed to tell it.
Yeah, but the shame isn't there. So too bad.
You read this book in, huh?
Yes, sir, I did.
That's kind of interesting.
Well, it certainly is. And you say that Matthias.
They marked the page here for me.
Yes, that's a wonderful book. It's a wonderful history of Decatur County. And then there's one of 1984 that your family is also mentioned in that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one, but I've heard talk about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot smaller than that one.
Oh,
isn't
very
it?
much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you got her together.
I think Joe Shields got
I ought to
one
have a
in
Band-Aid
that.
They
for
did,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's a wonderful book, and that's one of the original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we bothered your father-in-law enough.
Y'all them Johannigman
Okay,
down
I'm gonna-
Cincinnati.